Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. Today we got some more Fallout 4, but this time
It's
instead of my
time for
personal
another
favorites, we're
show.
going with the crowd's personal favorites. The absolute best mod so far of 2024. Everyone should at least try using in their mod list, or maybe you already have them. I do want to say though, this will be unbiased. I'm not going to include my personal favorites. This is based on downloads and usefulness. So even if the mod is very useless, but has a lot of downloads, it will still be here. Because you guys evidently loved it. And also because I love you guys, I will also state if it is next gen compatible and also on console. So with that out the way, I hope you guys end up enjoying this video. And let's dive right in. The first mod up is Fallout 4 Downgrader, which is pretty obvious because I feel like this saved thousands of modders mod lists, allowing you to simply download this mod and then click run to downgrade your Fallout 4 so you can continue modding with no headache. The only downside is that I'm obviously not going to run it since my list is already on old gen and I don't want to mess anything up by upgrading, then downgrading again when everything is already perfect for my mod list. But if you guys want a guide, I highly recommend checking out Ramstead's video. They perfectly explained it and showed you how to do it. I'll link them down in my description if you guys need this still. The second mod is called Backported Archive 2 Support System. This mod basically allows for mods made for next gen update to work on the older version of Fallout 4. Basically like B's for Skyrim. There's really no reason for me to go into deep detail about this because it is just a simple download like any other mod and you're good to go. You just have to make sure you have the requirements, which is script extender and address library, or this will not work at all. But if you're on console, you don't need this anyway since this is made for mods that rely on script extender, namely why it is a requirement. Now we got actual mods, and the first one up is Rebuild Collection All-in-One. Honestly, I think these updates has mentally wrecked the mod author. They turned off comments and pretty much said they're done. But at least they left this amazing mod up. This mod allows for you to go to listed settlements and repair them once you have access to the workshop. And to repair them, all you have to do is find certain objects placed around the settlement, then interact with them, which will make a menu appear, and then boom, it will be fixed and repaired. If you have the resources, it's pretty simple and effective, especially for the people that hate building, like myself, especially considering I start new saves every single day. This mod I could not find any info if it was on Xbox, but it was there previously, before all the update shenanigans. But after the last two updates, there's been no info on if or when it will be ported back to console, or maybe I'm just blind. But either way, this is definitely a must-have if you aren't using something like Sim Settlements, which I had to stop using because I kinda got tired of searching comment sections of every mod for compatibility. But if you do have it, then you probably don't need this. The next mod is UN1 Army 2. This is an absolute must-have for me. This mod has dynamic buildings and changes to the world as you progress through the story, adding new patrols and new buildings for the Minutemen, making them actually seem like a force to be reckoned with. Based on the description though, there are over 30 new locations, and of course I couldn't find all of them. And also there's new patrols that will protect your settlement, so they will need you less now. I mean, not that it won't still say that you lost because you didn't help, but still, they'll need you less now. And I'm not gonna lie, I had to make a completely new mod list just to showcase this mod, because I had to use someone's save file which doesn't load on my mod list because they always just crash. But just because this mod appears dynamically as you complete the Minutemen quest line, and I was not about to spend 6 hours for a showcase. But this mod is definitely worth the wait if you're going to be doing a full playthrough of Fallout 4 soon, if you aren't adding all these mods, especially with all the patches provided by the mod author. I consider this a must-have if you're aiming to overhaul your factions without adding too many scripts to your game, which I'm pretty bad at. The next mod is a mod called Police Shotgun, Remington 870. It's a new vanilla-friendly shotgun being added to your game, and in my opinion, that is always welcome, especially since it is from Degenerate DAC. This shotgun comes with over 50 new attachments and its own custom animations for you to experiment with. And if you want to take it up a notch further, it has support for bullet counter reload, but that's your own personal choice, it doesn't really need it. There are two unique variants to find in the world, or you can find it on a gunner or raider boss if you don't want a cool looking unique gun. The one that I'm using is located at the Bedford station, but there is another unique variant at the sheriff's department, but that one is surrounded by super mutants, so it's a little harder to get. The next most popular mod, surprisingly, is VTAC Redux. This mod has well over 40,000 downloads in less than 20 days. It's kinda new for me to see in Fallout 4. This mod adds a highly modular armor set for female and male characters that features support for every major body in Fallout, from CBBE to True Wastelander. And based on the size of almost 1 GB of a download, you're going to be given a lot with this armor. About over 50 new suits and over 100 different material swaps. Not to mention you're also able to swap the armor pieces on top of the suits for even more combinations. There is definitely a lot that comes with this, and it might be a bit overwhelming at first, but you will find that suit that you love, and once you do, you're going to be sticking with it probably through your whole playthrough. The next mod up is called New Weapon Ideal Animations. This mod has new ideals for every single weapon type in the game and also provides variations for you to choose from those set weapon types. But I do want to say you might want to pick carefully because some of these were made very feminine, so unless that's what you were aiming for, you probably won't want that on your male character. But the other ones that are available, which is the current ones that I'm using, are kind of masculine. So this definitely started to grow on me. I mean, I do mix it with another animation mod. I'm not using every single one from this one since it is modular. It's not an all-in-one, you can pick and choose what you want. But the ones I do use are pretty amazing. And I do think other people agree with me considering this has over 167,000 downloads. The next mod up is a new mod called Loadout, an Encumbrance Overhaul. This mod completely reworks the way hoarding items work in your game. So now you'll probably double think about stealing everything that you see. No longer will it just make you walk because now it has other aspects to it. Because now you can run while you have over your carry weight, not sprint but the normal jog that the character usually does. But now it will also drain AP as if you were sprinting. And based on the type of weapon you have out, it will also increase that drain, so it's probably better you holster your weapon if you're not in combat. This mod also lets you use items to increase your carry weight like backpacks or satchels, and if you need to increase it even further past that, just have a higher amount of strength, because now with this mod, your carry weight kind of scales off of your strength, or if you have a good backpack, because that also increases it, so you might find yourself a bit more over encumbered if you don't have either, but it won't affect you as much like in vanilla. And one little thing that might get your attention is that this will also nerf your companion's carry weight as well, so it won't be your pack mule. I just wanted to give a quick disclaimer for this video. I'm not going to be putting any quest mods, that'll be for a separate video because I feel like basing quest mods on downloads is unfair since most of them don't really get attention because it's not by a well-known mod author, so that just wouldn't feel right to me. So we're focusing on the other sides of Fallout 4. So moving on to our next mod, which is People Live in Federal Ration Stockpile. Quick warning for this mod though, people using Hunker Down, this mod does conflict with that. It makes a lot of clipping items and a lot of FPS drops. But this mod overhauls the area, making it actually seem like an area people live in and hoard food at, or whatever else they hoard. And honestly, if you think about it, this mod makes a lot of sense because in an apocalypse like Fallout, I would assume this is the first place large factions will try and take over, and this mod makes it actually feel like that. But this mod doesn't massively overhaul the area or add a ton of enemies that you can't beat. This mod just makes it live up to its name basically. And just backtracking a little bit, yes, even though this is incompatible with Hunker Down, there is a patch and optional files made for it, but the FPS drops will be kind of big because it combines the two. The next mod is called Commonwealth Encounter Pack. This mod adds over 200 new random encounters that will dynamically spawn around your game. You won't discover these encounters in the same location as me because they spawn based on where you're currently heading, hence why it is a bit dynamic. But what I will say is I did have to run around for a bit to notice these because they are very random and just kind of spawn anywhere, and they kind of blend in also. But this mod doesn't just happen in the Commonwealth, despite the name. You can actually still find these encounters in DLC lands such as Nuka World or Far Harbor. What's crazy though is that I bought this game 3 times on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, and I've yet to actually complete the Nuka World DLC. But this mod though is an absolute must have if you're modding in 2024 and just want a bit of spice in your 200th playthrough. Maybe mix things up. Moving on to our next mod, which is called Challenges Fallout 4. This mod adds a new mechanic called Challenges to your game, which is very similar to what you will see in New Vegas or 76. While adding over 60 of these challenges as well, because if we just added 1 or 2 it would definitely be a little boring. Each challenge once completed will also give you a worthy reward, so you actually feel like completing them is worth it. But it's not going to be so overpowered that you feel like you need to do them as soon as you start a new game, or else it becomes repetitive. This is simply for fun. I do want to point out though, this mod does require Pip-Boy tabs, which I also just updated, so you want to make sure you grab the one that works for you, otherwise this mod won't work at all. The next mod is an armor mod, but for NPCs, called Diamond City Guard Armor Overhaul. I showcased this in my last video about mods I can't play without, and here it is being one of the most downloaded mods of 2024. This mod overhauls Diamond City Guards, but in a way that makes it feel like you're still playing Fallout 4. making them look more dangerous but still dirty, if that makes sense. And if you want to take it up a notch even further, you can use the director's cut, which adds headgear diversity, so every NPC will look a little different. But if you do use this, I advise to get a mod that also makes their faces look a little different, or it's going to get a little weird. But either way, that was the top mods that basically you guys voted on. Of course I couldn't showcase some of them because they weren't safe for work. But none of these were in my personal opinion, I just tested them and made sure they worked. And if anyone could actually simply use them without having 10 years of modding knowledge. So let me know down below in the comments what mods you think I missed and what your favorite mod of 2024 is so far. But as of right now, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Peace and love, guys.